the Future at the movies. Now go there on your NES. In Back to the Future 2 and 3, a double mission to save the future. LJN, Back to the Future 2 and 3. Get it while there's still time.
When I was little, I remember my family had an NES, but since I also grew up with an SNES, I generally spent more time playing with that as a kid than the original system. But in fairness, the games we had were the likes of Marble Madness and Dick Tracy, so yeah, my little poo brain didn't have the patience for that shit. I tried to get enjoyment out of these games though. I sure did try. Of course, I later grew up to appreciate the old classics and learned to love their masochistic difficulty, but it just wasn't for little kid me. Eventually, the NES would simply vanish from our household, probably ending up being donated like my collection of Goosebumps books and Ninja Turtle action figures. Yeah, thanks, Mom and Dad. But here I am, undisclosed amount of years later, and I bought an NES. Yeah, I figured I'd relive my past a little. And with it, attempt a game that I played a little bit as a kid, but never really tried to beat. Back to the Future, Part 2 and 3. Yeah, don't ask why all of our games were so fucking niche. And it's a wonder I didn't end up a Sega kid after growing up with games like this. Anyway. In true LJN movie adaptation fashion, any actual connection to the film is tenuous at best, but they did go so far as to incorporate movie elements into the background, so that's neat. But overall, it's like the developers just wanted to make a mediocre Mario clone, and the licensing was just an afterthought. I'm not just saying Mario clone because it's a side-scrolling platformer. The enemies are straight out of the Mario franchise. These hamburgers with eyes, yeah, they're your traditional Goombas. Snakes in the sewer pipes, they act an awful lot like piranha plants. And the Spinies are, well, they're just straight-up Spinies, who hilariously don't hurt to jump on, and every now and again you can find a hoverboard that acts like an invincibility star. The actual stars the enemies drop are your fireball upgrades. I don't know what these pretzel things are supposed to represent as a Mario enemy though, or the birds, also known as the worst video game enemy ever designed by man.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
God, why does it have to make that noise the whole time it's on screen? I can feel my frickin' ears bleeding. Then there's these dudes who shoot at you, who I assume are supposed to be Biff, because you can totally see the resemblance, right? But I've decided that actually it's Mr. Strickland chastising me for being a slacker. Also, this game isn't linear. You don't just go right, you can and will have to go left too. See, the map is separated by these doors that indicate whether you're going up or down. The doors also have these circle things on them, which I think are meant to be another indicator of where you are or where you're going, but I haven't been able to figure that one out. There's nothing else to indicate where you are except for the occasional landmarks in the background, so getting lost is just inevitable. Why did they make the map so huge and convoluted? How am I supposed to find anything and know where to go? Another thing that sets this game apart from Mario is that the controls, unsurprisingly, are total ass. There's no getting used to them. Even after hours of playing, I still die to simple jumps and unpredictable enemies. What the hell was I thinking? Starting a series on movie adaptations. We all knew it wasn't going to end well. And here it is. This is what it was all building up to. This is your epic climax. Man, if I could, I would go back and stop this whole series from starting in the first fucking place. Hey, wait a second. Wasn't there mention of finding a remote to call the DeLorean? Which is weird because the DeLorean is what drops you back off into the stage after you die. Why can't I just use it? Well, like anything else in this game, it isn't simple, nor is it ever spelled out for you. You have to find the drive-in theater where the remote is sitting, as part of the background. Then you have to open a side menu with select to use said remote, and hey, look at that. Alright, let's ditch this shitty timeline and act like this never happened. This can be a tough fight, but once you get the tells figured out and learn the magic of rolling, which I had been neglecting this whole playthrough, he's as good as dust. And you get a nice little credit sequence with Indian Co. riding off into the sunset. Please ignore that final score. This, in my opinion, is the epitome of a good video game. The hell? Don't panic. I've come from the future to warn you. Warn me of what? You gotta stop playing movie-based games, man. We go down this rabbit hole of shit, and now we are now playing Back to the Future 2 and 3 on the NES, and, well, it ends bad, man. Real bad. Yeah, okay. Oh. Well, really? Yeah, I need a beer. Huh. That was easy. Didn't really think this part through. Well, since I'm here. After you found the DeLorean, the game really opens up. And by that, I mean it's the same convoluted map duplicated 3 times over with minor changes. Biff's 1985, 2015, and 1955. The most significant change is the enemies. In Biff's 1985, there's dinosaurs running amok for some reason. But in the past, it's clouds that rain frogs and hovering cameras. Now, that makes sense. Oh, hey, maybe the birds are... Nope, still birds and still annoying. So what's the point of this game? How do you beat it? Well, believe it or not, there's a story, and according to it, Biff hid items from different time periods behind locked doors. Marty's task, I guess, is to find these items and put them back in their proper place. And this somehow will help him get the sports almanac and return the space-time continuum back to normal? Whatever. Yeah, I got my own space-time continuum to worry about, cause can't help but notice that I'm losing opacity. Oh yeah, I guess if I don't finish the movie game reviews, that means you don't exist in the future. Aw, hell. Well then, I take it back. Do the review. No, I'm not playing that game again. What possessed you to want to play it in the first place? I just wanted to relive my past. What? Never mind. The only thing left to do is to go back. Back to the present. Yeah, okay. How? Well, the game brought me here. Well, sucks to be you. Wow. What an asshole. And get a haircut. Okay, this shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Basically, to beat the game, I have to find keys that randomly shoot out of enemy corpses. When I eventually catch one, I can enter these Twilight Zone doors, which turns the game into a weird Atari-style minigame. And this is where the game can get really difficult and frustrating. Well, more frustrating. As some of these minigames demand precision and timing, yet somehow the controls in these segments are even more gimped than before. Though I'll admit some of these are pretty clever and satisfying to figure out. Like the ones where you're pursued by Martys that copy your every move. It took me a hot minute to figure these ones out, but I felt like a boss when I finally did. Unlike the ones where the clocks you have to collect disappear, or the ones that require jumping over enemies on a conveyor belt, or the ones with the dots that trickle down the stage, or these fucking cacti that I somehow can't jump over. Anyway, after the minigame, I get one of the random items Biff dislocated from their proper era. Like this... squeegee? My next task is to take these items to their proper place and time. But where they go, of course, can't be simple or self-explanatory. No, all the locations are hidden in nonsensical places like sewer pipes and floor grates you have to push the up button on to enter. Yeah, you stand on a grate and push up, and sometimes it'll send you to a hidden room. Not only that, but once in the room, I have to solve a word jumble to figure out what item belongs in the room. You know, typically word jumbles don't bother me. Most of these I can guess at a glance, but then there's words like this. The hell is this supposed to be? Prime cut chop? Oh, turns out it's computer chip. Of course. The tiny pixel images can make it hard to figure out what the item's supposed to be as well. The worst one for me was this. Do you know what it is? It's a roulette wheel. I mean, I could see that now that I know what it's supposed to be, but when you don't know offhand, it makes trying to figure out what the jumbled word is meant to be that much more of a shot in the dark. But the biggest obstacle is figuring out where the hell to go and where everything is hidden, so get yourself a piece of paper and be ready to draw the most cluttered and confusing map in existence. Once you've done that, it's just a simple matter of throwing that shit in the fucking garbage and looking it up online instead. Drawing maps on paper. The hell kind of dork does that? Oh yeah, I'm dying. Doc, get me out of here. Now today I thought we'd do something special and relive my past a little bit. Talk about an old PlayStation 2 game by the name of, yes, let's see, it's Pirates Legend of Black Cat. Back in my day, cat was spelled with a C. Jeez. Oh man, time travel gives me indigestion. Wait, where the hell am I? I thought... Oh my god, I traveled to the future, not the present. Oh hey, well, at least I know I make it past 50. 50? I'm only 37 years old. Yeesh. Well, whatever. I've still got a shitty game to beat. Okay, new time period. Same annoying rat maze full of these goddamn birds. So the, quote, present has dinosaurs, the past has frogs, and the future has monkeys. This kind of stuff shouldn't surprise me at this point. Also, I thought it was just a glitch at first, but I started encountering other me's. One I accidentally shot, and then I died. Oh yeah, I guess the movies do mention the dangers of encountering your alternate self. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I take back my initial complaints about this game having little to do with Back to the Future. I mean, it has the DeLorean and the hoverboard in it, which is more than what you'd usually expect from an LJN property. I mean, 2 assets that represent an object from the movie from which the game is based on? Color me fucking impressed. Doc and Jennifer are even referenced, but only in the title of the weird mini-games. Fun at Jennifer's house. Huh. What kind of weird shit did Marty and Jennifer get up to? So after a while, it's become obvious that I haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to the amount of locked doors and hidden rooms needed to get all these items. And it turns out the maps for each time period can't be traversed in their entirety without using time travel to get to certain locations. There's some locations in, say, 1985 that you can't reach unless you go there in 1955 and travel to the future from there. Or only one time period having the doorway that leads up or down into that section of the map. The game even tries to be cute and incorporates planting seeds in the past and then jumping to the future to reach some of the doors. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this game hadn't even begun to become a maze. It incorporates time travel as well. What's worse is to do this requires you to go hunting for fuel just to time travel. Yeah, these uranium pickups or whatever are actually super fucking useful. You need 10 fuel to travel to adjacent recent time periods, or 17 if you want to go from the future all the way to the past, and vice versa. Having to collect anything in this game can be a major ball ache, but if you get a game over, you automatically start with 10 fuel. And you better believe I took advantage of that shit. Yeah, a game over giving you a benefit is pretty strange, but the game still has its own special way to fucking you over when you do. See, a game over doesn't completely reset your entire progress, thank God, but it does get rid of any keys you had, meaning it's back to running around and finding an enemy that drops a key and making it to a locked door before running out of lives and having to go back and do it over again. Oh, fuck. I gotta get my game face on. Alright, no more fucking around. It's time to go hardcore on this bastard. I guess you can say that time is of the essence. Yes, lovely game. Hey, I did it! I beat Back to the Future! Part 2. There's still part 3 to play. Yeah, you know what? That's a future me's problem.